So, continuing from the last one, I used to have a friend. I used to know a guy. Let me tell you about the true nature of people of people around here, and this is like prime example. I used to know this guy. I knew him since he was 13. I can't remember how old I was. I wasn't that much older. It's only a few years older at the most. I knew him since he was 13. I was only a few years older. I'm 34 now. So I knew this guy for like 15 or 16 years or something. I'm not friends with him anymore. He I considered him my best friend for pretty much the whole friendship. I mean, like in my mind, he was he was my best friend. And I'm certain that's not how he looked at me. He knew that's how I looked at him. I said it, told him. Supposedly he felt the same way, but I don't believe it. I don't think that's true. So, he was an alcoholic. He kind of just drank at first and sort of became an alcoholic. Or maybe he was always an alcoholic. Hard to tell. But he's an alcoholic. He may still be an alcoholic. It's one of the reasons why we're not friends anymore. Uh, so so I consider this guy my best buddy, right? We hung out all the time. He slept over and we played video games. Hung out all the time, everything. He'd come hang out with me and my girlfriend at the time, and we'd all play video games and watch dumb TV and do pretty much everything together. So like, and this went on for years. That was just how it was for the longest time, for several years, and and then I started having a really hard time in personal life, and I went through up to date up to what is up to date the most depressing and just awful time in my life. I started falling, and so around this time I I was also on I you know I started my quest for truth or whatever, trying to determine, because I'd always known about conspiracies and everything at the time, and just a little more over time. You learn a little bit more slowly, and then you decide to actually delve into it. You hear about aliens for years and years, and you hear about all the surface crap, and then you start to delve into it, right? So I went through a really bad time, and I started genuinely questioning reality, because I was like, how can the world be like this? And uh, like, how is it that the world's controlled by money? Why is it controlled by money? Why do people live like this, slaving their lives away for nothing, just to make the elites even more powerful than they already are? They already control everything. What the fuck more do they need? So like, so I started getting into conspiracies, and I started trying to find actual truth. And when you get into conspiracies, you have to you got to do an absurd amount of digging to get through all the crap, because it's all crap. It's all not. It's You get into conspiracies and it's still not true. You're still not looking at truth. So I started getting into all this, and I started learning about. I started. So I started. I got into my quest for truth, and I started researching. I started doing a bunch of experimentations, math and real world experimentations and stuff. With like light, and because light will tell you anything basically, and light is undeniable. Is what I mean. Light is absolute. Like, it makes a straight line, and that's all it does. And you can use that mathematically. So that's why I started studying light, and I found out I started using math to determine if the things that NASA says are true, and I started getting different results than the conspiracies that are out there. All the popular mainstream conspiracies. I even started getting different results than the deep stuff. I even I was doing it over and over. It was making me crazy. I mean this almost literally. It was making me crazy. I was like, I know I'm not doing this math wrong. This math isn't difficult. This math is not. I'm even using a calculator, and this math is not coming up to what people are saying. This math is not. It's not. It's not even coming up to what the in-depth, bottom of the internet conspiracies are saying. It is not matching anything that is on the internet at all, or that you've ever even heard. So I started coming across these insane results that I couldn't disprove, that were actually disproving all of the conspiracies. And I needed someone to talk to. And I started to show my results to my buddy, to this guy that I considered my best friend at the time. And he didn't believe it. He he just looked at me like I'm crazy. I showed it to him. I showed him the math. I've showed him the math. I showed him how things don't line up. I even offered. He never took me up on this one. I uh I worry sometimes if I scared him, but I don't know. He never took me up on this one. I offered to show him in person the experiment, the sundial experiment, so that he could see the shadows himself, so that he could see how close the sun really is himself. Because I'm not trying to fool anyone. This is the math is so simple that I mean any kid could disprove it if it weren't true. If it weren't true, anybody could disprove it because the math is so simple. But but no one cares. He didn't he didn't care either. He didn't care that it was driving me crazy. He didn't care that I was having a reaction to it. No one did. No one no one believed me. Still no one believes me. There are people I think about showing it to still today, and I'm still choosing not to show them. Cause like no one cares. No one cares anyway. You show them 2 plus 2 equals 4, and they'll tell you it equals 4.1. It equals 5. No, it's 3. No, it's 22. The person I considered my best friend, I went through a really difficult time. My actual reality, and I mean it literally, fell apart. And that's not a phrase. I mean literally, because like I was doing the math on it. My literal reality fell apart because the indoctrination fell apart. You know what I mean? I was indoctrinated just the same as anyone else. So when I did the math on it, my mental understanding structure of reality actually fell apart. And I mean that, like, you know what I mean? Literally. Like, reality didn't literally fall apart. The mind fell apart. You know what I mean? And I noticed it. It was like I was swirling in, like, because now I'm looking at the horizon and I don't know what the hell I'm looking at anymore. I'm looking at the sun and I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore. Genuinely, I just see a big bright spot and I did the math. It says it's right there, not 93 million miles away. It says it's a freaking kilometer away. I did it over and over and over. The math isn't wrong. So, because of this, I've been able to determine that we're in a simulation. At least I am in a simulation. I can say that much, I think. Because, like, wouldn't it make sense something in the simulation becomes aware, or the one that you have in the simulation becomes aware of the simulation in any way? It would make sense to be against that now, to be against the thing that's trying to get through, basically. Make it really bad for that thing to keep it from discovering more, you know? It would explain why I tell people the truth. And there was this one time I brought this up to someone, and her reaction was so insanely quick. Like, there was no thought at all. It was an instant. I said it, and as soon as the last sound left my mouth, there was no gap between my words and her going no. Like, and what I said was what if it's just me here and no one else is real? It's just me here in the simulation. What if it's just me here? No. It was quick. It was concerningly quick. Wouldn't it make sense for the simulation to just immediately shut down any, you know what I mean?